everybody, welcome back to the Gaming Corner podcast. I'm your host, Josiah.
And I'm Jonathan.
And today we have one of the most anticipated guests for this show, Kaden MacKay. How are you today, Kaden?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I've never been better. It's an honor to be talking to you. We've loved you for a little bit, and actually, let's talk about what you actually do, because there might be a few people that don't know who you are, but we definitely do.
I'm a singer-songwriter, composer, lyricist. I write songs usually based in a musical theater style, but recently I've been kind of going into other kinds of media. I recently made a short film, and I have some other projects that are coming up. So yeah, that's what I do.
Ooh, yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, he has his his almost world-renowned song. Do I say world-renowned? Well, either way.
I don't think it's quite world-renowned, but
Well, I mean, 60 million plays is a lot, but Passing Through, also known as Can't the Future Just Wait, that is we're at 60 million plays across all platforms, probably even more from that.
wow.
That's a lot.
I'm like, I didn't know that. I know it has 40 on Spotify, but
Yeah, but
60
you have
across
you have
all,
like
that's crazy.
I think you have 17 or 20 million on YouTube.
On YouTube. Oh yeah, that okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
YouTube, and then you also have the other streaming platforms. But dude, your music is so good. I always find myself singing, even like your older songs. Like I hate auditioning for musicals. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That one, it's so good. Oh man, you do so good in everything, and you don't just do music. You also do what else? You do streaming. You do stuff like that.
I do. I mean, yeah, I'm like, those are like smaller those are less impressive things that I do, but yeah, I do stream every once in a while. And
Your Discord server, Yes the Future Can Wait, it's a big community of just a bunch of people that just love music, and it's a really nice community, so I would definitely say go ahead and join it, and also join the GCP Discord server while you're at it. Bam, we plugged it in. Caden, you're a great person, and actually, you know what's even greater?
what?
Gaming news.
Gaming news and announcements, so let's go right into that. So, Nintendo just announced their plans to open an official store in San Francisco. So they announced today, at the time when I was writing this, I have no idea when I was writing this, but when I was writing this, Nintendo of America announced that they're going to open a store in San Francisco in their Union Square, providing a way for visitors from near and far to experience the world of Nintendo, its products and characters. Now, the store, called Nintendo San Francisco, will open in 2025 as the second official location in the US, joining the store in New York City. So yeah, please stay tuned for more information with that as the new store approaches opening. This is, like I just said up there, it's especially going to be like the NYC store up in New York. And that was, and still is to this day, it's a very well-known store. There's so many cool things they do up there. They sell limited stuff. They sell stuff before release sometimes. I don't know where I heard it, but I thought I heard some Mario or Zelda game released like a day early up there. Something like that. I don't know what that was. They'll do directs, like showcases there. They'll like do a group watching, and it's really cool how all that happens, and I'm excited to see that now there's a secondary location for it. I can't go there, but if I could, I would. But
Right.
I've always wanted to go to a Nintendo store, and this is giving more people the opportunity to do that thing. So I think it's really cool that they're opening this up.
I feel like it could be interesting to have like maybe smaller stores that don't do like all the crazy events, just kind of scattered throughout the U.S. I don't know.
Yeah,
That
kind
could be
of like
cool.
a pop-up almost.
Right.
Yeah, that
It
could
would be very
really,
big, but
just
maybe
to say that there is
maybe
one.
just a Nintendo exclusive GameStop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that could be really cool.
2 new Mario games have leaked from Nintendo. The renowned leaker Midori recently revealed that 2 game codenames were discovered in a Nintendo leak, pointing out 2 new titles coming soon from the company. First, there is a codename SPRED, and the leaker further detailed that Red is Nintendo's insider code for Mario. SP remains unknown, and while this alone does not give any intricate details, Midori revealed that it could be a new 3D Mario game from Nintendo. Additionally, SPRED was claimed to be the one currently under development by Nintendo.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about this, a 3D Mario game. We heard, I think it was last year, that they were working on a 3D Mario game and that it's supposed to be like 4 times bigger than Odyssey. And if you haven't played Odyssey, that's a really big game. and I'm expecting this to be a launch title for the Switch 2, if that's what it's called. I'm excited to see how this goes, because like this could be very big if Nintendo does it right, and if it's already 4 times bigger than Odyssey, I'm gonna place my bets on it being a success. And a 3D Mario game is always gonna be big. Cough cough. 3D Land. Cough cough. But I feel like this could be a really good game, and I feel like this could have a lot of potential for the Switch 2.
I also think the fact that like they go back and forth between Zelda and Mario is kind of interesting.
Yeah, like how the Switch launched with Breath of the Wild, the Switch 2 could launch with a new Mario game. And most systems have launched with a Mario game, so it could be very beneficial.
I also think that another possibility for like a launch title might be Metroid Prime 4. I mean,
yeah,
it could be.
Yeah, because it was anticipated very much for the original Switch, and still hasn't come out. It's only been 7 years.
Exactly.
We can wait another 5.
I think this might be the first time that Lego and Nintendo have actually released a Legend of Zelda Lego set.
Yeah,
That correct?
This is.
Yeah. Lego has announced a Zelda set. It's going to be the Deku Tree, the Legend of Zelda Great Deku Tree, 2-in-1 set, available for pre-order now and launching on September 1st, 2024. It's priced at about $299.99. This 2,500-piece set allows fans to construct the iconic Great Deku Tree from either The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time or The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, with dimensions varying depending on the game version. Included are 4 Lego minifigures, along with various buildable characters and creatures from the games. The set offers interactive features such as animating the tree's face and mouth, and includes iconic scenes like the Master Sword pedestal and Link's house.
Wow.
And I think this is really exciting because I think this is the first time we'll ever get a Link minifigure, and not only will we get one, I think we're getting 2 because we'll get both an Ocarina of Time one and a Breath of the Wild one, which I think is pretty awesome. Because I've seen a lot of people make their own versions of a Link minifigure, but to have an official one is kind of I think it's a cool milestone to have.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how this turns out. I probably won't buy it because $300 is a lot for a Lego set that you're just gonna stare at.
You'd be better off buying Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Same.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very hefty price, but I mean for 2,500 pieces, were you expecting it to be cheap? I mean, especially when it is a Zelda set, like the first Zelda set, they are going to run this for as much money as they can because they know fans will buy this.
Oh yeah, I'm tempted.
Oh, yeah.
I'm absolutely tempted, and I'm like, I don't even want the Deku Tree. I just want the Link minifigure.
Yeah, I just want to say that I had that. And I think the coolest thing with this is it has both the Ocarina Link and the Breath of the Wild Link. I don't know if it's the child Link or the adult Link from Ocarina, but either way, Ocarina is my favorite Zelda game. So either way, I would love to have this, but I'm poor, so that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I would guess that it would be the young Link, just because that's at the time in Ocarina of Time when you actually interact with the Deku Tree is usually as young Link.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess, but
that's probably one of the better guesses. Yeah. Moving on from that, let's move into the latest and upcoming game releases. The Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake, or I like to call it the HD version, released on May 23rd, 2024, to so much praise. I have not played it yet, but from what I've heard from people who have played it, they have loved this. It's reportedly better than the GameCube version, which was a very hard thing to beat because the GameCube version was very good, and it's been regarded as one of the greatest GameCube games of all time, and I'm so happy that they were able to pull this off and pull it off right. It's something that we wanted for a while.
From what I've heard, I've never played a Paper Mario game, and honestly, I'm like, ooh, should I get this one? Because I've heard so much good stuff about it.
Yeah,
honestly,
you've never played you've never played a Paper Mario game?
I don't think no, I haven't.
Oh man, John, should I tell him the story that I've told a million times?
Yeah, you should.
Okay, so there's a little not really little, but there's an online game store called DK Oldies. Have you heard of this?
I don't think so.
Okay, but there's an online video game store called DK Oldies. They're run out of Pennsylvania, and I ordered an N64 flap, just to cover like the jumper pack on my 64, and a few other games like TMNT, Captain Skyhawk, just random games. And when I get it in the mail, I open up a box, and there is Paper Mario for the N64 just sitting there. They accidentally shipped me the game. They didn't say, here's a free gift that we're going to give you, because sometimes they'll do that. No, they forgot to give me the jumper pack, and they just gave me Paper Mario 64. So that was free $70. So thank you, DK Oldies. It was great. But yeah, you know what is even better?
What?
Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble.
Yeah, releasing on
It's not.
June 25th, 2024. It's probably not going to be better, but this was also a game that I don't know if it started out on the GameCube, but there were a few GameCube games. I think it was on the N-Gage, because only die-hard gamers know the N-Gage. It was in the arcades. It was at Chuck E. Cheese. Great game. You're a banana. Or you're a banana. You're a monkey in a ball getting bananas. And you're just rolling around. You're just doing all this. And this is hopefully going to be a good Super Monkey Ball game. Because from what I've heard, I haven't played much of the SMB series. But, hey, it's Mario. But, it's... A few of the games weren't the best, and I hope that they can break that barrier with this game.
You know, now that you say that, now I want to see a Super Monkey Ball game where you play as a banana and you collect monkeys.
That's got to be a ROM hack somewhere.
Oh yeah,
somebody's got to make it.
Monkey
Super
Rumble?
Banana Ball, yeah.
Monkey Rumble, there we go.
Monkey Rumble, yeah.
Somebody make this happen. I hope we get a game dev on here at some point. We can pitch them the idea of Super Banana Ball, Monkey Rumble.
I personally haven't played. I have played Monkey Ball. I played Banana Blitz on the Wii as a kid.
Yeah.
And when that HD version came out, I was so mad because they didn't have motion controls, which is absurd. Because originally it was on the Wii, and that was the only way you could control it was with motion controls. And they didn't even have the option on the Switch, and that was really frustrating for me. So I'm like, I hope that they have at least the option of motion. Maybe not, because maybe in Banana Rumble there wasn't motion controls to begin with, so maybe they won't have the option.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's my Monkey Ball thing.
That's my Monkey Ball
I've
experience. Caden's gonna write
Yes.
a book called My Monkey Ball Experience.
Indeed.
That's your
I
next
have
song. There you go.
Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is good. And my real only experience with Monkey Ball is the Chuck E. Cheese thing, but I hope that this is good.
Oh, man.
I do have a bit of experience with the next game that's coming
Same.
out. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, releasing on June 27th, 2024. I hate this name. I hate it.
It really should be Dark Moon HD, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but from what I heard from Preston, who actually already did a video on Luigi's Mansion 2 on his channel, Preston the Magnificent, go check that out. It might have been him or one of his co-hosts, but he said something about, like, it made sense to call it 2 HD because there's already 3 on there, so they wouldn't, like, confuse people. I'm assuming that they'll at some point release the original Luigi's Mansion on the Switch. So then you have Luigi's Mansion 1, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and then Luigi's Mansion 3. So, I mean, Dark Moon, it's a much better name. Like, they went back to the original, like, reveal title, like, temp title, just to be like, we can count guys, and it's just kind of awkward and weird. But
not skipping 2.
No, I feel like they could do good with this, and from what I've heard, it's a really good game. It's a very polished game, from what I've heard. So yeah, I'm excited for that. But you know what? I don't really know anything about
Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Yeah, I've never really been a big Elden Ring fan. I don't have a computer or a console powerful enough to run Elden Ring because I'm a poor child who takes what he can get. And if I was given Elden Ring, I probably wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people have good experiences with Elden Ring. It's just not something that I've been a big fan of. So I hope when this game comes out that people will like it. I don't know much about it, but I'm hoping that people will like it. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for Elden Ring. Now that we have no more thoughts left on the latest gaming releases and the upcoming games, how about we move into the games that we've been picking up and playing? Lately, I've been playing Fallout New Vegas on the PC. I'm telling you, I got bored one day, so I just started watching Game Theory, as bored people do, Game theory for life, baby. Yee.
For
Anyways, he did
I
a
agree
video
with you.
on Fallout. I think it was New Vegas. Well, either way, I'm playing New Vegas, but he did a video on that, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I want to get into this. And I'm a sucker
Right.
for like old music, like old 50s, 40s music. I love like the ink spots, the platters, just stuff like that. I get a lot of inspiration from that. And I was playing Fallout, and I'm like, oh, there's our radio. Oh, it has all my favorite music on it. I'm gonna keep playing this. And I've been playing it for like the past week, and I'm hooked. This is probably my favorite game of the month. So, and I'm excited to see if they would do a new Fallout, which I think they might be. And the Amazon series, they did a really good job. I saw the first episode, and that was really good. So I'm hoping that the next game, or even a season 2, will be even better. But yeah, that's really all that I've been playing. Jonathan, what have you been playing lately?
I have been obtaining basically every single Wii U game that I can get my hands on.
Ooh.
Not like every single. Okay, not every single Wii U game, but like I've been playing all the good ones.
Yeah, all the good ones. So, Action Girls Racing and Hello Kitty Racing.
I'm not playing those games.
Ben 10 Omniverse.
Are those games actually on the Wii U?
Well, Ben
Those
10
games,
Omniverse.
do those games
is-
actually exist?
Ben 10 Omniverse does.
I mean, they
There's a
sound
Hello
too
Kitty game.
specific not to.
Hello Kitty is on the
True,
Wii U.
true.
What's that actual title? What is that title? Hang on.
I don't want to know.
Oh, Hello Kitty Cruisers. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Action
I've-
Girls Racing is a Wii game, but you can play it on the Wii U.
For sure. I've also been playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. I've just been I watched a video from Shortcat,
Mhm.
who I don't know how to explain it. He used to be a cubing YouTuber, and then he created another channel and then started making Mario Kart videos and stopped doing cubing videos.
Mhm.
That makes sense. If that makes any sense.
So it's
Anyway.
the opposite story for you. How we started doing video game stuff, and then you started doing cubing stuff.
Exactly.
So it's John's opposite tale.
Sure. Except this guy's way better. But yeah, I've just been watching his pro video, and I learned how to drift better
Yeah.
so far. Also
Yeah.
hops.
Oh, nice.
But yeah. Otherwise, I've been, I guess, setting up my new Wii U properly.
Mhm.
I almost bricked my Wii U,
Yeah, you were telling
That
me
was
about
fun.
that. Yeah.
but yeah.
You bought a Japanese one, right?
Yeah,
So then
that
you.
was not a good idea. But then
Yeah.
again, I also feel like it was one of the best ideas I could have done.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Worst,
was one of the best
worst
ideas
idea ever,
ever.
But I got $50. Not bad. No.
Right.
Yeah. So you bought a
It
Japanese
was
one.
worth the effort.
Yeah. So you
it
bought a
was definitely worth
Japanese
the
one
effort,
and then like
especially-
region free the system, right?
Right.
Okay.
The satisfaction of finishing was incredible. I
Yeah.
booted it up and it was in English, and I was like,
Yay.
let's go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the best feelings, like when you mod something correctly, and I've definitely had those moments. It's really nice.
Sure.
So I recently have been streaming Paper Trail, which came out on a bunch of platforms, but I was playing it on PC. I don't think I'm going to keep streaming it just because it is a little bit boring to watch. Like, it's fun to play, but it is kind of, it's probably a little bit boring
Yeah.
to watch. That's kind of the problem with a lot of puzzle games, is that
Mm-hmm.
they're really fun to play, but sometimes they're a little bit visually uninteresting.
Mm-hmm.
But playing it, it's a really fun game. It has a very unique mechanic. It's definitely something I haven't seen before, of using the idea of origami, of folding paper as a way to solve puzzles and
Yeah.
like as a way to get around. So that's been really fun. And then on the Switch, I've been playing a bunch of different games. I recently picked up Knights of the Old Republic on Switch. It's been on my
Oh,
Switch
yeah.
for forever, but I
Mhm.
I have like 50 other games on my Switch that I've just never played because I keep buying them and not playing them.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna start this one up. And honestly, I think it lives up to the hype. Like, I've heard a lot of good things about it, and
Mhm.
I've been really enjoying it. It's just the way that they kind of have. It's like a lot of world building.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like it's just kind of a pretty cohesive world, and like the fact that like that there's so many NPCs with like pretty extensive dialogue trees where it just kind of feels like you're really in like a Star Wars world, which is I think that's pretty cool. I'm like a minor Star Wars fan. Like I wouldn't say I'm like a crazy Star Wars fan, but like I know a bit about Star Wars, so it's been pretty fun to kind of to play a game in that world.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not the first Star Wars game I played, but it is kind of like that kind of world building with Star Wars.
Yeah, it kind of like gets you deeper into the franchise a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the first Star Wars games that I played. I got it on Steam for free a while ago, and it was on my laptop, which was not a very good laptop. It took 2 days to download, almost killed my computer. But I got to play for 15 minutes, and then my computer almost broke. So I deleted it, and then I got 150 gigs back. So that was the best vacation I ever had. So I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Star Wars fan. When I was younger, I was very into the series. But then as I got older, I kind of found out, oh wait, Mario? Yes, please. And I definitely still love Star Wars. I was just talking with my friend Nate about it the other day, and we were just talking about Star Wars the whole time. We were just talking. We loved it, and he's just getting me excited for all these new series like The Acolyte. I'm excited for all these different things. He's giving me all these theories, and I'm excited to see where Star Wars goes. It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the right hands, I feel like Star Wars is such great creative, like soil.
Yeah.
Like if for instance, the obviously the one that I probably get that I'm sure no one's surprised that I'll bring up is Andor, which is possibly the best Star Wars thing that's existed in a long time.
Yeah.
Just an excellent piece of Star Wars media. But yeah, and also I recently finished reading for the second time the first Thrawn novel by David Zahn. Thrawn is my favorite Star Wars character by far. And I recently finished that, so I just thought they're bringing that up because we're talking about Star Wars.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of good things about Andor. I haven't quite seen it yet. I'm this close to watching it, and I want to do a watch party with some of my friends that I'm working with this year. It was just a bunch of movies, so I'll have to put that down for the series that we watch.
Yeah,
for the summer.
It's just good. Like it's just good writing and it's good acting, great directing, all that stuff.
Yeah. I think that's a very good point with all that stuff. Like, if it's put together very well, then it can be one of the greatest things in the franchise. There's a lot of good series that just fell apart because of the behind-the-scenes stuff. So I'm happy that Star Wars, for the most part, hasn't had that problem. Like, the sequel trilogy was The prequels were, I mean, Revenge of the Sith was really good. The other two.
I mean, the prequels have kind of, people have started to defend the prequels now, and honestly, I always liked them personally, because I was a kid when I was watching them, so I was a lot less of a critic, so I was like, these are great, but.
Yeah, I also feel like the internet has really shaped people's personal opinions,
perceptions,
perceptions on movies, because like they'll tell you things that you wouldn't usually notice, like for a first-time viewing. And that was also something that kind of ruined Rise of Skywalker for me, because the first time I watched it, I was like, this is okay, but then I watched like a review on it, like, this is the worst thing ever. Then I kept thinking, this is the worst thing ever. And then I watched it like a while ago, and I'm like, this is not that. It's
not that bad.
It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It could be better.
No,
and I'm just happy that some people are enjoying Star Wars without other perceptions, and I'm glad that people are enjoying this for what it is. Well, moving on from that, let's go right into the GCP topic of today: music, video games. Alright, so I thought it'd be fun just to talk about music, video games, rhythm games, gimmick games, games with good music, gaming composers, just everything about video game music, okay? Because when you got somebody that does music, you gotta talk about it. So, let's see. So there's a few music games. Only one that I personally know of. It's called Wii Music. It's a little known game. Wii Music is a game that is on the Wii. It has music in it, and it's not very good.
No.
It's
No, it's
I'm
not.
sure that can be applied to a lot of games, though.
that have music in them. This
Yes.
one in particular, it's just so unresponsive. It's out there. It doesn't work very properly. There were a few elements of that, like the composer, like how you're directing the instruments. That was supposed to be in Wii Play, and then they were like, hey, we can turn this into a full game. We can go spend $13 million on funny cat suits. And then they did that in 2013, but a little bit better. So I feel like Wii Music had a lot of potential, didn't do the best, and I feel like a lot of people don't like the game per se. I thought it was okay. I grew up with the game because I'm in a very musically driven family across my family, and also other like not distant relatives, but like other relatives also like music. And my cousins loved this game, so I was constantly around this, swinging a Wii remote in a circle, just trying to play Wii music. So it's definitely a game that I have a lot of memories with, but not the best, but not the worst.
Sure.
You guys had
You also did a review on it.
I did do a review. Did that come
which
out
was
yet?
pretty
It
sick.
did come out. It did
Yeah, it
come
did.
out. Nice. So yeah, don't watch or don't play the game. Watch the video. It's much better. Recap everything in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I purchased it because I was like, oh, I've never played this before, and I was like, I'm a musician, I can play
Yeah, you can play
Wii music.
music.
And now I'm like, oh dang, is it not good? So now I can't now, but I also still want to play it just so I can confirm that myself, and also
Yeah.
because I think it'd be funny.
And now you're stuck with Wii music. That's gonna
Yeah.
be your next song, just going across everything. We're giving you so many good song ideas.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Man, this is
I'll make a whole album.
let's go. We'll make the whole album in the time that it takes to beat Wii music. That's
Yeah.
our goal. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other music video games, specifically like rhythm games. The first thing that I get in mind whenever I hear rhythm games is, of course, like Rhythm Heaven and Dance Dance Revolution. These are the two biggest series in rhythm games. Also, should I say Parappa the Rapper? I think that's another big music game.
What? Okay, hold up. What is Dance Dance Revolution?
So, imagine, okay, you got this big, like, you know the NES Power Pad?
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay, look, there was the
Just D-pad. There's an up and down,
Oh.
and left and right.
Okay.
yeah, it's just a giant pad that you step on, okay?
Oh,
And
I see. I know
yeah,
what you're talking about.
whenever like an arrow, you step on that arrow, and it gets like faster and faster. It was in a bunch of arcades, and then they brought it into home. There was the
Yeah.
Dance Dance Revolution Mario mix for GameCube. That one was very weird, so look up the Dance Dance Revolution Mario mix cutscene, not cutscenes, but just like the actual gameplay, and you'll see what I mean by weird. It's confusing. But Dance Dance Revolution, Rhythm Heaven is a very rhythm-based game. I probably should have also put like Donkey Konga. Have you ever played those games, the Konga games?
Nope.
No?
Me neither.
Do you guys know what it is?
Nope.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure if I'm thinking about the same thing.
Okay, so Donkey Konga was this GameCube franchise where you have these two barrels that you would have to like beat them, like, and you clap, and you can be silent, and it's a rhythm game.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why I was
have seen this.
doing.
Okay, yes.
I don't know why
I
I was.
just looked it up, and I have seen this before.
I don't know why I was slapping the table and clapping. That probably broke my mic, but but
I
yeah.
genuinely did not hear it.
Well, that's because Discord is awful. My mic probably picked it up. But I think the gimmick games are probably the best. Well, not the best ones, but like Guitar Hero and Band Hero. Those are two those are two heroes. Those are two games that are very well known. I think somebody played Guitar Hero at like a YouTube Live event. That was the first YouTube Live. That was very weird because I'm one of those people that watches YouTube Live, like the old things.
Yeah, you're weird. No, I'm
Thank
kidding.
you, John. We are all Nintendo nerds. Well, me and John are. I don't know if.
Oh, no,
Kaden
I
is.
am.
Nice,
Yeah, I am
we're
too.
here.
I mean,
We're
I'm-
all in
I-
this
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know if I'd say like a full Nintendo nerd. I'm definitely a Zelda.
Oh, then you and John are
Like you
along
want to know something about
together.
Zelda? You ask. Well, maybe not. I'm not quite that much, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you said that your favorite Zelda game is Twilight Princess,
Twilight Princess.
which is
Have you-
actually what we're gonna be talking
Speaking
about.
of yeah, well, you said you're finding games on the Wii U. There's one for you, Twilight Princess HD.
I did download that one.
Okay, you got it.
I just haven't played it.
Mhm.
You need to. It's my
I
favorite
also-
game of all time. I mean, not the HD version. It's actually the original version. The HD
Oh.
version has, or I mean, they're the same game, so it's like,
Yeah.
what can you say? But
Yeah, it
I
seems
recently
very
did watch a video that talked about all of the flaws of the HD version, and I was like,
Interesting.
oh dang, you're right. Like they got rid of the item scroll wheel, and they got rid of the music transitions, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so and there's like input lag, so it's actually an inferior version, at least. Well, I mean, it looks better a little bit, but
Yeah.
honestly, the original Twilight Princess looked really, really good for the time. So
Mhm.
Right.
anyway,
That's interesting.
Didn't Twilight Princess also release on the GameCube and
Yeah.
the
Keep
Wii?
that in mind.
I'd still. I mean, that's
get the original
yeah,
Twilight
I'm-
Princess as well.
it did. Yes. So Twilight Princess
Whoa.
is the only Zelda game that is on 3 consoles, which is hilarious because I'm like, I want it on 4. I'm like, I want it on the next console as
That's-
well.
Yeah.
That's
my
interesting.
dream.
You know what's also really interesting? When
Breath
they
of the Wild's
were
music.
well, yes, that
Right.
too, but when they released Twilight Princess, sorry, something in my throat. When they released it, I don't know if it came out on the Wii or the GameCube first, but either way, when they were trying to release the game, they were like, oh dang, this is really close to the Wii's release date. Let's just release it on the Wii as well. So if you look at the gameplay between the Wii and the GameCube, the gameplay is just like flipped. Like
Yeah.
it's flipped. It's weird. It's awkward.
Do you mean mirrored?
Mirrored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because what the reason why this is because as they were approaching the release of the Wii, and they were like, we should put
Motion controls into the game.
Twilight Princess on this. They want, most people are right-handed and Link is left-handed, and so they were like, oh, it's really awkward to have a left-handed, like to swing the remote with the right hand and have Link swing his left hand. So what they did to solve this problem is they just completely inverted the axis of the game entirely. So I'm actually I actually prefer the mirrored version, just because that's what I grew up with, because I played it on the Wii. And I remember when I got the HD version, which in its original, like the regular, when you play it on like the hard mode or whatever, after you've beaten it, you can play it on challenge mode or master mode or whatever it's called. Then it flips it back to the Wii version. But I remember when I first got that game, I was so upset that it was the opposite direction. So everything, so like my mental map of like all the locations in Twilight Princess were backwards. And at one point I literally put my Wii U down and I was like, I can't play this game. Like they've ruined Twilight Princess, which is hilarious because like this is how it was originally made.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, don't you think it
Yeah,
would have
but
just
eventually I did get over it and I was like, oh, it's still Twilight Princess, it's just backwards. And it's,
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Don't you think it would be a little bit easier just to like put the sword in the other hand, so then everybody would be playing the exact same game? I mean,
Yeah,
it's a bit
yeah, but
funnier
then-
to say that, oh, I have Twilight Princess flipped, but I mean, like, it's a bit easier when you think about it. But you know, why not flip it just for the sake of it?
Yeah. I mean, it does. Yeah. And one of the complaints again of this YouTuber that I watched was the fact that you can't flip it unless you've beaten the game.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, that's actually really valid because that was really, because I mean, it bugged me that I had to play it backwards, that I had to play it the way that I wasn't used to. And I'm like, yeah, they should have just had an option, because you can't, because if you beat it, then you play it on the hard mode or whatever, and it does flip it. So it's like, obviously, they had it flipped. Like, they could have it flipped anyway. But
Right.
I don't want to get too much. If you get me talking about Twilight Princess, I will not stop. So
Yeah. I've seen your streams. I can account for that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Actually, we're gonna talk about something about Twilight Princess, the music. Okay, so
Yay.
can you talk about the music for a bit? Because I've only ever played a little bit. I want you to talk about this.
Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I would love to talk. This is like my favorite topic in the world. So
Go right
I
ahead.
would love to talk about the music in Twilight Princess. So the lead composer of Twilight Princess is a guy by the name of Toru Minagishi. He's kind of as you think of like Twilight Princess. I said to you, I don't know why I said to you, but I personally and a lot of people tend to think of Twilight Princess as the spiritual successor to Ocarina of Time. And in that same vein, Toru Minagishi is kind of the spiritual successor to Koji Kondo. Koji Kondo was kind of his teacher. Koji Kondo, of course, being the original composer of Mario, of Zelda, of a lot of Nintendo properties back forever. And he's still a consultant on the music today, but he's mostly taken a back seat now. But Toru Minagishi was kind of a student of Koji Kondo, and is really kind of one of those people, like one of the only people who is really able to kind of recapture the essence of what Koji Kondo brought to the Zelda score. I'm like of the mind that I really, because right now Toru Minagishi is kind of the lead composer for the Splatoon series. Dude has range. Like he can write a lot of different. Like you listen to Twilight Princess and you listen to Splatoon. Those are very
sure.
different scores. So he's a chameleon. He can write like a ton of different kinds of music. So fun fact, he wrote the intro sequence for the GameCube.
Huh.
Really?
Boom. Boom. Yeah. So and he wrote it like without a piano. Like he just wrote it like in his head, which is wild.
Huh.
So dude's really
That's crazy.
Yeah. But one of the things that I love in particular about Toru Minagishi is his use of motifs in it. So a motif is basically a short musical idea that you reuse. So John Williams is really famous for those motifs, using the Force theme in Star Wars, da 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 da, that's everywhere, right? Whenever there's like a specific moment of like, the Force being relevant or whatever, then that theme will come in. And Toru Minagishi is really, really good at this. So one of the things that I love about the Twilight Princess soundtrack in particular is the Hyrule Field theme, which is one of my favorite pieces of music, like of all time, pretty much. It has several different parts to it, and each of the parts shows up elsewhere. So, for instance, the main theme, da 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 da. I sing it really horribly, just barely. But that theme shows up in almost every location that you can go to. So, like, it will show up in Snow Peak Ruins. It'll show up at Snow Peak. It'll show up at the desert. For some reason, I'm like forgetting the names of the locations in my favorite game of all time, and that's absurd. But
you're good.
But yeah, Lanayru Desert. I don't know why. No, it's Gerudo Desert. Why did I say Lanayru Desert? Oh, that's Skyward Sword. Sorry, my brain's broken. But a bunch of these different places will actually use that theme in different ways. And then you also have what's called the advantageous theme, which is da 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 da. That's in Hyrule Field, but it also shows up whenever you're in an advantageous position. So whenever you're like on a boss and like hitting the boss in the weak spot with the sword, that's the theme that will play. To other places, including hilariously the fish theme. When you're catching a fish, if you hold it on long enough, it'll go dun 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 dun, dun, which is hilarious to me. But anyway, and so on and so forth. All of the themes anyway. So this again, I could talk about this for hours. But it's something that's really cool about the Twilight Princess soundtrack is the use of motifs and repeated, because it kind of gives a sense of cohesion to the world. You hear these same melodies over and over again everywhere you go. That kind of telling you this is part of Hyrule. And along with that, I don't want to get into too much detail again because I just talked forever about Twilight Princess. But the other game that, which is my second favorite game actually, but this game was also had Toru Minagishi as the lead composer, is Spirit Tracks, which is a very underrated game in my opinion. It's my second favorite game. Goes Twilight Princess, then Spirit Tracks, then Tears of the Kingdom. But Spirit Tracks also had Toru Minagishi. I already said that. But again, really excellent uses of motifs, where so the beginning village that you come from has like a specific theme, and in all of the other villages there is a moment where that theme will play again, you know. But anyway, again, I don't want to get too into it, but I want them I so want them to bring Toru Minagishi back to the Zelda music team for future Zelda games, because I really do think that he is one of the best living Zelda composers. I mean, you have so many excellent ones. Kenta Nagata, you have what's her name, Asoko Ota, although her last name's different now. But yeah, there's so many excellent people on the Zelda music team. But Toru Minagishi is probably my favorite, and one that I would love to see in a future Zelda game. I'm like, you can work on Splatoon for a bit, but please bring him back to Zelda, because I really think that he contributed some of the best scores of the Zelda franchise. So anyway, there's my rant.
Nice.
about Zelda music.
Yeah, you could talk about that forever. I
really could.
Yeah. Can you talk about Tears of the Kingdom? Because I know you were talking about how you like that music, because I know you and John have played Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know if John's beaten it. I think you have, right?
I did.
I have.
Multiple times.
Okay. Can you guys talk about the music? Because I've never beaten it.
Yeah.
You never played it, Josiah.
You gave me the control. You gave me the controller for 5 minutes. It counts.
He did not beat the game within those 5 minutes.
No, I said I played it. I said I didn't beat it.
So Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom both have the same lead composer, which is Manoa Kataoka. And she has been I honestly can't remember if it's she or he. I feel really bad. I think it's she. If I'm wrong about that, people can make fun of me for it, for using the wrong pronoun. But anyway, she has been with the Zelda team for a while, not that long, but then in Breath of the Wild, she was at the lead composer. But she was brought in to do Breath of the Wild, and as you know, as is pretty obvious by Breath of the Wild's score, kind of took a really different direction. It's a very iconic direction. I mean, everyone knows what. I mean, I don't know everyone, but people know, like, they'll refer to something as sounding like Breath of the Wild, because it's a very distinct, you know, the soft piano, the you know, very kind of almost random sounding, ding, ding, you know, just the notes all over the piano. It's a very consistent, or it's a very specific sound, and a lot of people, including myself, say that it is a very excellent way to kind of emulate that feeling of like space in Breath of the Wild, because that was like, you know, because Breath of the Wild's huge, and that feeling of this empty, this open world, and you know, the wilds, it kind of has that sense. But along with saying that, I do have to say that I am personally not a huge fan of Breath of the Wild soundtrack or Tears of the Kingdom, simply because I love the Zelda's the history of Zelda music so much that it kind of felt like a step back to me. It wasn't necessarily a step back, but it was a kind of a step away from what makes Zelda music great, at least in my opinion. And whenever I say, like, I don't really like Breath of the Wild score, people are always like, oh, it's because you don't understand it. I'm like, no. I do understand it. It's just like, cause like, I'm a music guy. I get what it was going for, and I do think it is very successful at what it's trying to do. But the problem, and I thought about this recently, I think that the problem that I have with Breath of the Wild's music is that all of the best music is heard the least frequently. Yeah. So like, so like all of the themes that I really do like, such as when you're facing Va Meadow, I love that theme. It's so fun. Oh, I mean, I love all of the when you're each of the divine beasts, when you're trying to when you're defeating the outside defenses so that you can get inside of them. I love all of those themes. They're really fun. I love all the character themes. I mean, you know, like, there's so many great themes in there. But like, the unfortunate thing about both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild is that you just don't hear them that often. You know, because it's too big. Like the world is so big that you just don't hear a lot of those
That's
great
true.
themes very often. And I think that's why I didn't like it, is because most of the time you're hearing just kind of this forgettable. I mean, I hate to say forgettable. I hope no one's upset that I said forgettable, but it's kind of
all good.
forgettable. That like obviously, if you played it, I'd of course recognize it.
Yeah.
But I probably couldn't tell you like where I am. Like if you play something from Twilight Princess, I'm like I know exactly where that music plays. But Breath of the Wild, I'm like it's somewhere in the open world. I don't know.
It's at a place that exists.
Right.
Yeah.
I
like,
think in some ways it's not like. In some ways, it's not just the music that makes the game kind of interesting. It's also like the sounds that play
yes.
alongside the music. It's like the
Yes.
wind, like the breeze blowing. It's
And
the
that-
birds chirping. It's the
Yeah,
different
and-
sounds behind it as
Yeah,
well.
and I think that can add because Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, the sound design, you do have to talk about sound design when you're talking about music in video games, and the sound design in both of those games is excellent, phenomenally wonderful sound design. But again, but the music, it's just kind of lacking. I think I'm not a huge fan of a lot of and even like some of the less frequent but still frequent enough for it to be like memorable. I'm not a huge fan of, for instance, like the Stone Talus theme or the Hinox theme or I'm not a big fan of those. I just
Honestly,
think they're pretty, what?
I kind of like him, to be honest.
Do you?
But
I mean, I can understand the appeal, but for me, I just think from like a melodic standpoint, they seem so random.
true.
Like it sounds like someone's playing drunk on a trumpet.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, and I don't want to, again, I don't want to be too critical of it because I still do appreciate and I still do enjoy the Breath of the Wild soundtrack. And it's not like there's no pieces of music in, for instance, like Twilight Princess that is not like there is some things that are not super fantastic in Twilight Princess soundtrack. I'm not trying to be like Twilight Princess soundtrack is perfect. Like it's not.
Right.
But there is kind of a loss of that kind of really excellent melody writing that was in earlier. I mean, even recent games, what would be the most recent game before Breath of the Wild was Link Between Worlds, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
That wasn't like an HD
besides-
remaster.
Yeah, besides the HD remasters of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. What about Link Between Worlds? And that is lead composer of Ryo Nagamatsu, who's an excellent. Unfortunately, he is no longer working at Nintendo, which is kind of a bummer. But he's responsible for a lot of the games around that time. Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, and he did the arrangements for the Link's Awakening remake, which are really really fun. But he's a great composer as well. But it's just not the same in Breath of the Wild. There's kind of a loss of and a lot of the best melodic material is from other games. Like I do think that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom has excellent arrangements of pieces of music. So like the Fairy Fountain theme on the piano, love it. I love that. I think some of the best music in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is in the Rito region and the Gerudo region. Those are my two favorite regions of music, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I like Rivali's theme, the music of Rito Village, which is of course Dragon Roost Island from Wind Waker, mixed with the new the clarinet theme. That's the da 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 da, which I actually really love that theme, and I love the way that it's also used in Vaughn Meadow and other places. But yeah,
For sure.
see, it's like because it's so confusing. Because I'm sorry, am I interrupting you?
No, it's fine. I was just saying
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah. But it is kind of I have a love-hate relationship with Breath of the Wild and its score, because I'll talk about how much I love certain pieces of music in Breath of the Wild and still say, oh yeah, it's I don't love it. Like I don't love the game's score, but at the same time I'm like, but there's such great material in it as well. For instance, yeah. Here's another one: is Tears of the Kingdom. If I asked you what Tulin's theme was,
Um,
Couldn't.
I don't
isn't
know
it similar to what's his name?
to Rivali's,
Yeah, Rivali.
sort of.
It's like higher
But-
pitch though, right?
Yeah, well, because so Tulin's theme is, it's just this. It's a 4-bar, or it's a 4-note phrase. I again, I haven't looked too into this, so I might be wrong about. There might be more to the theme than this, but it goes da da, da da, and that's like Tulin's theme. But like
Oh.
it plays like exactly. See, it's like you play the game, but you don't remember that because it plays like
Yeah.
twice in the whole game. You know. And
Right.
that's like the thing is like it's just kind of an unfortunate, like it almost was a necessity for this to be the case, that you hear the best theme so infrequently because because it's too big. Again, the world is so big that most of the music has to be kind of ambient. But it is kind of a bummer because I feel like there is a lot of really great thematic material in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild that you just don't hear enough for it to be memorable, and it's just a bummer. But I'm excited to see. I don't know if I'm excited. I'm tentatively excited. I'm cautiously optimistic about the future of Zelda music because, I mean, I love Zelda music so much, and there's such a wealth of great Zelda music.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm like, I'm excited to see. I'm hoping that there will be a new direction that Nintendo goes in both the stylistic, both stylistically and musically in the next Zelda game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I mean, I've heard before of people saying that it's going to be like a third, like a trilogy of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and then a third game.
have an opinion
That's
about
what I was
this.
saying, and John's just gonna get
like,
rid of it.
Nope.
What's your opinion?
Personally, I feel like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is already that third game.
Oh yes,
or
I
second
remember
game,
you saying that. Right.
Since it's like
And
red, green, and blue.
Yeah, and I love
but-
that. I like that idea.
Yeah,
I
don't
definitely
know.
subscribe to that idea just because because it does fit the red, the blue, and the green. So
Right.
I do love that. I think that's a great idea.
Epic.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I personally don't believe. I think Nintendo is going to be like, okay, that's enough. We don't need to do it. We don't need to do a third one. You know.
Right.
I think they're. Because I personally think that if they did a third one, people are going to be like, really, this again? You know.
Yeah.
Like, and there would definitely be people who would just eat it up. And obviously, if it was that again, I would buy it. I would play it. I'd have so much fun.
Same.
But it would also, but I wouldn't. I couldn't say that I wouldn't be a little disappointed that they weren't doing something new because
Right.
Zelda, I would say Zelda. I was trying to say Mario and Zelda at the same time. Zelda and Mario are kind of Nintendo's. I don't know if this is this might be wrong, but in my from what I've seen, I'd say Nintendo and Mario, or Zelda and Mario, are kind of Nintendo's like more experimental. Like those are usually the two franchises where they try new things a lot of the time. I mean, they're two of the biggest ones, I would say. And so I think in terms of like the wealth of like different kinds of Mario games and different kinds of Zelda games is really large. And so I would
Right.
love to. I'm really excited to see, like, what is the new Link gonna look like? You know?
Yeah.
Like, what is?
Yeah.
You know, is the Master Sword gonna get a redesign? You know, like
That
all
would be
these things.
crazy.
I know, right? Like, wouldn't that be, Well, because I
Imagine.
recently, because there was, I recently did a bit of a deep dive into like the design of the Master Sword, just because I recently purchased that, the one I made it like a, what's it called? Not a panic buy, but
Wasn't the recently announced Master Sword and like what is it called? Collector's edition book that goes along with Tears of the Kingdom?
yeah.
Is that what you bought?
I think, well, I didn't buy the book. Although I
Okay.
actually I might do that just because I was waiting for there to be an art book for Tears of the Kingdom because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't really care about the guide because I'm like, I'll just figure stuff out.
Yeah.
But I would like to see the art book because I really love the art.
I
of Tears
bought
of
the
Kingdom.
guide and like opened it like twice.
Yeah,
I just bought it for the
exactly.
sake of buying it, legit.
Yeah, for sure. But they have the what is it? It's but they did that thing where it's a um yeah it's by Proplica. It's the prop remake of the Master Sword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that came out I mean I pre-ordered it because I'm a Zelda nerd and I was like I need to have a Master Sword because my other one broke. um, and it was cheap anyway. And so I bought that one and I was like, wait a second, which version of the Master Sword is this? And
Huh.
it's the Skyward Sword. So obviously there's been a couple different versions of the Master Sword. I don't know why we got on this topic, but I'm totally going to continue with it.
Yeah.
All good.
But yeah, so there's been a couple different versions of it, but they've kind of streamlined it a little bit ever since, since Ocarina of Time, they kind of really figured out what they want it to look like. Then they kind of took it a little bit different with Wind Waker because Wind Waker's art style was so different anyway.
Yeah.
But really, I would say, and I might be biased, but I would say really where they nailed it was Twilight Princess. I personally find the Twilight Princess Master Sword to be the prettiest one because of so after that in the next 3 games the Master Sword looks extremely similar because they again with Twilight Princess they kind of figured out like the best version of the Master Sword. I think it's also the cool thing is the official, you know how they have like the official version of Link that's like disconnected from all the games. That's just kind of like Nintendo's, like it's just kind of like
the Smash Bros version, I guess.
yeah
Maybe?
it's the one
Okay.
it's the one I think it is the Smash Bros version. It's the one that's on the Nintendo cards for $50.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Actually,
like
no,
their
I don't even think that's Smash Bros. That's just Link.
that's just so that yeah so Nintendo has like an official, like that's like the Link that's just kind of like that design is kind of their generic Link that's disconnected from any of the games, and
Right.
it's very obviously designed after Twilight Princess Link, which I love because I personally think Twilight Princess has some of the best art direction in the series. I'm a little biased,
It's all good.
but that's true of that Link, and also the Master Sword is kind of based off of. So like in the 3 books, like the art and artifacts, and I have them over there. I don't remember what they're called.
Beautiful books.
Yeah, those
Art and
beautiful books,
artifacts. I don't remember
yeah, the
either.
Hyrule Historica, and the blue one. I think whatever that one is.
I'm thinking about
man, I
buying the
remember.
Historia book. It looks really cool.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
books. They're like they're just visually gorgeous, I think. But when I started making money, I was like, I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff that I've always wanted to buy. So I bought those books, and I bought all of the Twilight Princess manga. But yeah, but in those books, on the pages or on the first thing, it'll have the Master Sword and the Hyrule Shield, and in most of them, they are the Twilight Princess ones. In
I
one
did
of them,
not
they're the
know
Skyward
that.
Sword ones. Yeah, I know. Well, because they look so similar. But
Right.
there's like slight differences. So like the only real differences between the Twilight Princess and the Skyward Sword Master Sword is the Twilight Princess has this kind of gold inlay.
Okay.
That's on like it's kind of on the base of the blade, and it has and they have these little swirls around the crystal in the crossbar in the middle of that.
That's interesting.
Which is why I'm like I think it's the prettiest one because it has these like tiny details to it that
Right.
were kind of taken out in further iterations of the Master Sword. But anyway, I don't know how I got on that, but
It's all good.
because I was talking about the Proplica because that one is the Skyward Sword one because it doesn't have those little gold details
Okay.
to it. But
Gotcha.
anyway, that was so random.
By the
but
way,
now
you
you know-
mentioned. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You mentioned the manga for Twilight Princess. I
Yes.
absolutely devoured those. And I was
Really?
reading them like 3 years ago, so they hadn't all come out yet. It was so. I never actually finished the series, to be honest.
Yeah.
but it was so interesting reading the story of Skyward Sword without no, not Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, without having ever played the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So actually, I am making. I mean, I guess this is on a podcast, so maybe I shouldn't say this. Well, I mean, I can't say it, but it's kind of a bummer because I don't know if I'll actually release them publicly. I think I'm gonna private them. But when I was going through, so again, Twilight Princess is my favorite game. What a shocker! You would never guess that.
No way, really?
Yeah, I know. But when I purchased them, I started reading them, and I had such a visceral reaction because of some of the things that they changed, and and just being able to see the world that I have so much nostalgia for, kind of realized in like different ways. Like there's this shot at the beginning of Ordon Village that's from higher up, and I was like, whoa, that's so crazy. Like that's what Ordon Village looks like from high up, you know?
Yeah.
So what I did is I ended up just I would read one, and then I'd record myself and just kind of talk about it, just because I needed to decompress, just because for some reason it was just like I just had big feelings about about everything, about when they would change stuff. I'd be like, I can't believe they changed this, or I'd be like, actually, I really love this edition. So it'll be interesting if you do end up playing Twilight Princess HD. Seeing what it seems like when you start with the manga and move to the game, because again, there are a lot of changes that they made in the manga, and some additions that were just kind of like pretty big additions. Like it's still the thing that I did love about the manga is it is very faithful to the game, but there are some things that they added that I was like, whoa, like the whole side plot of like Link having a tragic backstory where everyone, like his whole village disappears, like that's not in the game. Yeah. And that was like,
I figured that level of detail probably wouldn't be in a Zelda game, honestly.
But it is, but to their credit, there was a few things in there that are just like, that are really just, that like feel, it almost felt like playing the game, which was so fun for me. Because again,
That's
I love
sick.
Twilight Princess, so yeah. But anyway, I would say that they are really good as a manga series. I would recommend them. But again, I would also highly recommend playing the game, just because it is my favorite game. So yeah.
I'll probably reread the manga at some point.
Yeah.
Probably
you
when
should
I
play
finish
the game,
the game
and then reread them and see how you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hoping to get into that, but I think that's a really good, I don't want to say ending to the episode, but I feel like you made really good points in that. Like, Zelda is a series that will always have, in my opinion, the best of Nintendo's music. It is
true.
it affects the story so much, especially like on specific sound cues, and I heard a lot of that.
It demands
which is,
it.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, Zelda as a franchise demands good music.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's a big thing, because like if you don't have that, then you
without
lose
good
50%
music.
of the game.
Yeah. You lose 50% of the game.
Yeah. But I did once see a mod of Breath of the Wild where when you got on a horse, it would play Twilight Princess's Hyrule Field.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
it was so different. I was like, dang. Like, I feel like they could have done that had that heroic kind of theme without ruining the aesthetic of it, but I don't know. That's tricky. But it's definitely something to think about, where I was like, could they have done the Breath of the Wild soundtrack different without ruining the aesthetic that they were going for? I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
I think that we've talked about everything we really need to. Kaden, it was an honor having you on here. All right, it was it was so having you on. It was so fun having you on here, and we'll have to get you on here again sometime, because you obviously you have a lot of knowledge on both Zelda and music. So we'll keep you on our backlog.
I like to think so.
Yeah,
We'll have to have like a Zelda specific thing.
Yeah, that'll be
maybe.
nice.
Yes.
A Zelda specific episode.
I mean, we kind of got on that, and then I just kind of rode that horse for the rest of the time.
You rode Epona for the rest of the time. It was great.
Yes, absolutely.
That's funny.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good ending note, so without further ado, I'm Josiah.
And I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kaden.
And this is Gaming Corner.